join us once more. This is Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. I am Henry Igwebike. Today we'll be starting off with our newspaper headlines as usual, and right after that, in a jiffy, would be our main conversation also for today. Please do well to be part of what we do. You can always find and reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. We have in the house Innocent Adoluba, journalist, public affairs analyst. Thank you so very much for being here, Innocent.
It's my pleasure always.
Beautiful. All right, so let's start off today, interestingly, with the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Laundry list of interesting stories here. Jandor dumps PDP, accuses Bode George, party chairman, of frustrating his ambition. Of course, the ambition is possibly ascending the throne as a Lagos state governor in the future. How possible is that? That remains a very big question, a rhetoric one for Jando himself to answer. But just below that particular story, household consumption dips despite rising nominal income. And the income we're talking about is 70,000 naira minimum wage, which so many states in Nigeria are yet to start paying. But let's see how that goes though. Labour Party rules out merger ahead of 2027, rejects NLC interference. But our talking point for today, party power prevails as Meranda resigns. Obasa returns in Lagos Assembly shake up. Innocent Aduluba, this is one trendy story. In fact, this is one story right here on Enterprise Television. We've had the opportunity of making it headline for a very long time. You know, for close to 3 to 4 days now, it's been about the Lagos State House of Assembly, Obasa, Meranda, and others. Innocent, did you expect this?
Well, like you said, it has been a series in the House. Plenty of high wire, high power political drama. Lots of hidden hands behind the curtain. We can't believe that his Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa was doing all of this on his own. Obasa does not control police, but he came in, he got police, escorts.
Troops of them.
So it tells you a lot of conspiracy theory here and there. There are many intrigues to it, but I think if Right Honorable Obasa is coming in to come and resign, all of the drama was not necessary.
If he is coming in to resign,
just to come in,
but that hasn't been his statement. That has not been his statement.
You know, there are, I said, lots of permutations.
Yeah.
One of which is he'll come in, then resign.
That's what people say.
Yes, one of such permutations. So lots of angles to the story, but I am just surprised that our democracy is yet to take off from a primitive level, because these are things that you can't. It is abhorred. It is abominable. It is taboo for this kind of scenario to play out in a developed democracy.
Especially Lagos, because a one-party state, no one would ever have thought that Obasa would wield so much power as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. I remember just a day before the resignation of Meranda, she said that it is a shame to democracy because Obasa invaded her office with a long list of military agents just at his beck and call.
You know, if you look at The Nation, where I think I prefer on this story, because
why?
If you ask me,
yeah,
it's an APC story. And we know where the Nation's inclination would be. They are telling their own story.
From what angle now? From what narrative?
Yes. And the Nation tells us that he returned, plenary was ongoing, and Honorable Nohim Adams of Itiosa Constituency 1 nominated Obasa, and seconded by Honorable Nureni Akinsoya of Mushi Constituency. So this tells you the crisis that began with 32 lawmakers removing him on 13th January has hit a ridiculous anticlimax. By 3rd of March, the sitting speaker, Meranda, had resigned, and 3rd of March was Monday. She was already nominated and sworn in as deputy speaker, So it's back and forth.
What a caricature, really.
I said it has reached a ridiculous anticlimax. It's back and forth, and one would think that let's put it, one party dominated house. Let's not just say one party and disregard sprinkles of maybe Labour, Accord, and or more. In such a house, I'm surprised why a house is fighting itself. That's my own surprise. And it tells you the factions, the interests, the intrigues, who gets what in this case of politics, is disregarding the progress, the unity, and possibly the beautiful reputation of the party.
Now, at this point, how do you think Obasa will start possibly looking at other law makers in the house, knowing that they were all the ones that put themselves together to oust him? Do you think that friendliness, the friendship, he often calls them brothers and sisters, do you think that relationship, that chemistry they once had will still resonate?
Well, to begin with, Speaker Miranda, who was appointed just 7 weeks ago in the wake of the removal of Right Honorable Obasa, had stepped down. So I would say Obasa is walking into calm quarters.
Calm.
Yeah, of course.
CALM.
Exactly. If Miranda holds on to her seat and Obasa holds on to his claim of speakership, we'll be looking at an open feud
of
factions. There will be no seat for Obasa to sit on. Neither can Speaker Miranda be sitting comfortably. Wow. It will be a disputed chair.
A very subtle one.
Yes. So I think, with regards to your question, how would Obasa see his old or his colleagues? And I'm saying that if we want to begin from that top where should I use the word, his official seat, it's now vacated for him. So he came in, and I think his majesty, his dignity, his authority restored or preserved for him. So, but where we are going now is, I don't think there should be enemies of who didn't support me, who supported me. It's to come back to business as usual, because this is politics. People will pitch their tent. People will take
I just hope it winds down that way. This is not common with Nigerian politics and politicians. It's often a dog-eat-dog situation, throwing under the bus phenomena. That's actually very rampant there. But so let's take a look at this order. Ramadan opera as Bauchi, Kano, Katsina, KB shut out 11.5 million school children in 2025, where the North predominantly has about 18 million out-of-school children, just because of steadfastness for Ramadan and the religious thing. They have allowed that to cripple, what is the scaffold of human development, which is education.
That North, sometimes the stories we tell about them is a friend of mine says, is it that Nigeria is two countries? The South is one country, the North is one. Because there are Muslims in Oyo or Ekiti or Kogi or Kwara or even Lagos, who will not want their children to stay at home.
Yeah.
We don't even know if the ones out there, their parents are happy for them to stay at home. If you look at the Tribune, it mentioned Bauchi, Kebbi, Kano, Katsina. And the Christian Association of Nigeria have said that uh, the school closure is a setback. That's their description. And a region that we know about they've been placed in the allocation for educationally less developed states, closing down the gates on education. You wonder what these children will do. Ramadan, how long is this Ramadan period? Sometimes Ramadan is
it's between 30 days and or less.
You know, so you are looking at, I think, yes, the Ramadan here is for 5 weeks. The Ramadan is for 5 weeks. So you wonder, if you ask me, why a governor elected would take a decision like this and possibly justify it because his governor colleagues in a few states are collaborating or cooperating to do the same.
And this speaks to the agenda most of our politicians usually have. These same governors we're talking about would not allow their children pass through this same system. Most of their kids school in Ivy League school in different parts of the world. So do you think this is an unwritten agenda against the impoverished in the northern part of Nigeria?
Well, I don't know. From what you just said now, then all those governors from those states, if their children are in school elsewhere, are religious bigots and hypocrites. Because you kept your child in a school, private or outside Nigeria, then you shut out people's children from school, and you are claiming a dogma which is not universal. Because in those schools you are shutting down, not all of them are Muslims. Tomorrow, the Christendom will begin Ash Wednesday, which is the gateway to Lenten season. It will last for 40 days by Palm Sunday, and then the Holy Week ushers in Easter. By this time, we may be looking at almost the 3rd week or April ending. Is it that the Christians too should wear in quotes? Let me use the word predominantly Christians. So we use I don't know. And there is a Minister of Education. We are yet to hear from them. There is the National Assembly. We are yet to hear from them. There is the President of this country. Well, so things just happen. And let me tell you, you and I, how do they say the sound of the birds? Me and you will chirp, chirp, chirp. Time will go. Nobody will say anything. The children will sit at home. When Ramadan is over, that's if it succeeds, they will come back. And then it's business as usual. There's so much negligence. I don't know if you, Henry, have heard anybody speaking to this.
It's actually very funny.
Apart from the Christian Association of Nigeria, that could be seen as a rival or competitive body speaking. But there are authorities. There is a Minister of Education. Is this their plan for is it a psychomotor or curriculum for the children within that? What happens when Ramadan is over? Would their term be extended? Would they come back?
No modalities actually
playing catch up. Who has any of these governors in this state read out anything informing, communicating, or have there been, in quotes, some respites extended to parents of children in those schools who are not Muslims?
Well, it's actually very funny that many opinion leaders in the northern part of Nigeria are mute to this this very scary situation happening, and to equally establish that pre-colonial era or during the post-independence era, when you hear people like Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the Sultan of Sokoto, when you hear them speak, they speak so immaculately, Queen's English, and you ask yourself, what happened to today's education as against the past, where Northerners had to go to proper school, understood what they read, they were in tune with everything Western education, as exemplified by people like Tafawa Balewa. And when you see it the way it is today, it's very, very ridiculous, ludicrous, and shameful.
Well, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa is a revered teacher. A lot of the people after him were weaned on his legend. And like you said, he was one orator whose speech was impeccable. Yeah. But I don't know. If you look at University of Ibadan, University of Ife, University of Lagos, Uniben, UNN, Unical, Uniport. There are great higher institutions in the north, but they are in sprinkles. Possibly ABU, Zaria. I'm looking for the full meaning now.
Ahmadu Bello University.
Yeah. And then there is the ATBU, the same Abubakar
Tafawa.
Adu Unijos, but some will, is a contentious place. You wonder, because if you look at the reports we are getting here, Henry, some of these children who are out of school, looking at what you say, that how come we don't churn out polished, refined, educated children. Some of them still struggling through these schools are preparing for their West African Senior School Certificate examination. Some are preparing for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation exam, that is UTME.
Yeah.
Not forgetting those who may be in primary school for their first school living, or junior WAEC. And if you look at data from National Bureau of Statistics, these states that have closed schools, Bauchi, Kebbi, Katsina and Kano, they already have some of the highest rates of out-of-school children in Nigeria. And they are the ones, look, some are standing, their figures stand at 54% for Bauchi, 45% for Kebbi, 38% for Katsina, and 35% for Kano, for out-of-school children. I would think that this is a dialectic. Whereas with these numbers, you should be looking to gather children back into the school fold.
System.
What would these children from these ages, say maybe between the ages of 6 till the secondary school level, what would they do within these 5 weeks? Where would they be when their parents go to work or go to fend for their daily bread? And are higher institutions exempted for this, or is just secondary schools? Because if you talk education, both the higher institutions, secondary and primary, are all within school in the same state throughout this Ramadan period.
They closed down. Well, it's actually so very unfortunate though, and this is more like creating incubation hubs for the recruitment by insurgents, because when these people are out of school or when they don't go to school, it's often very easy to get them, hypnotized and possibly distracted, and that's why you see the increase in insurgency in the northern part of Nigeria. But just before we call it a wrap for this particular segment, let's take a look at Vanguard newspaper. Rivers crisis. I am not scared of anything. Governor Fubara. A couple of writers here says that the worst that can happen is leaving office. Assures of governor's victory in ongoing crisis. Charges Rivers people to take their destinies in their hands, as Amewele-led assembly gives him 48 hours to present budget. LGA chairman hands over to HLGA. Innocent.
Yeah, when Siminalayi Fubara, the governor of Rivers State, spoke after the Supreme Court pronouncements, he had asked outgoing local government chairmen to hand over to heads of the local government authorities. But Amehule, who is the speaker now, is seen by many as the direct loyalist of a minister, Nyesom Wike.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have a principal who is your governor, at home, but your loyalty is abroad. That's like charity begins abroad instead of charity begins at home. And to a lot of people on the political battlefield, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, with a house whose head is not loyal to him, plus possibly a large number of the members, is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. And there is a pointer to the inevitable, which could be his removal.
Yeah, because she truly just said that the worst that can happen is for him to leave office.
That's the height, where this crisis can climax. But like I would advise Governor Siminalayi Fubara for free, if he will use my advice, he should get a college of lawyers seasoned in cases like this, to give him all the advice of how to use his state power as the constitutionally elected governor of Rivers State. If he follows that route, I'm sure there are protectionist segments of the concurrent constitution that will protect and possibly keep him for as long as possible. And the longer he stays, the more chagrined his opponents and the more frustrated they will become. And the weaker they will get.
Very true, because there's always a lacuna somewhere, that can be taken advantage of.
Of course.
Yeah, because he can't be there, and then just, of course, he still says that he's still contesting the fact that the lawmakers who are pro-Wike, of course, there's with the River State High Court, there's still this thing about the dispute on their jumping of ship from one party to another, which is still lingering. I do not know the lawmakers if they're still with the APC or with the PDP. I do not know, because of course the godfather himself is neither in the PDP, and neither is he with the APC. But let's just see how that goes, though. We just have to draw the content for this particular segment, and just to let you know that Innocent Adoluba will be here to take us on our main conversation for today. That is when we return. Terrorists abduct Army University professor. That in a bit. Don't go anywhere.